I woke up with the best worst idea ever.
I've woken up with either the smartest idea or the dumbest idea ever.
Yeah, that's why I just said pass, Chris.
And you better believe that I'm going to spend the money to find out. You want to go to Bunnings on a Saturday? No one wants to go to Bunnings on a Saturday.
But luckily for us, it was a Sunday. And that meant one thing at Bunnings.
We're almost there, Fernie. The holiest place in Australia on a Sunday. And if you don't know anything about Bunnings, that right there is a sausage chisel. And it happens every Sunday. And it's basically an Australian institution. Not that I'm here for a sausage. She might be. Originally I was going to do this out of metal, but what do you reckon about wood?
If you live in North America, Bunnings is very similar to Home Depot, except with less variety and way more expense.
Well, that should work. It's a much more familiar motion, this. Well, that's definitely not coming out how I thought it was going to come out, eh? Now, Gadsy, I can hear you. I can hear you already. What about your can control, Chris? Why don't you have any? Well, I'm still waiting for you to teach me, bro. My arm's not long enough. Like a glove. So I'm over here trying to make complicated blocks and wedges and stuff, and I realized you can just screw this into the edge and then slip your block under it and it works the same. And I don't have to worry about pre-drilling timber because of that reason. It's a mega sluice!
Yeah, buddy, we can see that, you magnificent manic bastard.
It's huge! I want to be able to throw a whole bucket at the top there and not have to classify or do anything. Obviously, I could absolutely add some kind of mesh or something over the top, but I'm using this marine carpet because it's got riffles in it. And this definitely needs work. I'm pretty proud of these. These work really well. So just to hold the mat in, right? Wedge of wood. Yeah, I stole that off Gold Rush. Should we go put it in the creek? I figure a 40-litre washout tub will be big enough.
Problem for all prospectors is volume. Plain and simple. How much dirt can you move and how efficiently can you move it directly affects your output of gold. Sluice boxes, for the most part, are reasonably expensive to buy, so I thought, hell, why don't I bodge one together and just see what happens? But if I am going to bodge one together, I'm sure as shit going to make it big enough so I can just throw dirt onto it and not have to worry about anything.
Reedy Creek is currently in flood, and unfortunately it means the spot that I knew I could definitely set this up is unavailable. So I've come to this spot, and it's not working so well. We're just plugging lots of gaps to try and get the water to go up and over. Nature's glue. The idea of the mega sluice is obviously quite simple. It's huge, so I should be able to just shovel onto it. Well, at least that's the dang theory. We'll find out, won't we? And obviously my water flow is not perfect because I just don't have enough. I can't get into the main creeks. I'm in this side channel. This part of the sluice is not going to be doing very much. And normally I would absolutely test pan, but this is sort of like 4 o'clock and I just want to see if this thing works. We can use these rocks to plug the holes. Throw a shovel full of sand on there. Oh, that's cool. You can see the black sand at the back. Well, that's working really well. Mega sluice.
The spot that I had originally intended to go had a lot more water flow, and not only that, a lot more gold. We're talking 150 to 200 specks a pan, but it's currently 12 foot underwater, and I can't get to it.
Use the clay to plug the holes. If I just had that little bit more water velocity, I wouldn't have to worry about any of these bigger rocks, but here we are.
Even though I didn't have the ideal conditions for running, it was a real treat to feed this sluice box. Watching the black sand form at the back of the sand was amazing, and I can't wait to do it in a spot where I have a lot of gold, because I'll be able to see the gold form along with it.
Wow, look at the black sand! There is a really small gap here that I could probably silicon up, but I'm assuming that it's going to fill up with rocks.
Can you just imagine what this sucker's going to be able to do when I start feeding it with high velocity water, as well as high concentrated gold?
This thing just eats dirt. If I had a little bit more water flow, this would be perfect. Look at the black sand that forms at the back edge. I figure we might as well, like, check. Because black sand's one thing, but I don't want to feed that nothing, right? I want to get some gold. I've mostly been shoveling out of this area. So we'll do one shovel. Because I'm only putting one shovel at a time down that sluice box, right? If we get a single speck, we'll be good. This is only its pilot run. I got a couple of spots that I really want to take it to. Come on, baby, one speck. One little speck. Oh, we got it. We actually got more than that. We got two. They ain't big, but they definitely count. Get in the sluice. Get on the sluice. I know a lot of people are going to ask these questions, which is why I didn't have a flare on it. Well, you don't really need it as long as you've got enough water velocity, and because I'm not using any kind of mesh, I don't need that real high velocity water to create turbulence, which means I don't need to introduce more water to the system. This will work just fine because I'm using a low profile mat. There are like a million ways to hold carpet in, but I figured just using a block system, just a wedge, would be the easiest and fastest. This is just plywood. I put a waterproof coating on it, then I painted it twice. This is just pine. All of this is going to absorb water and get destroyed. But like YOLO, it's fun, right? That's what it's about. It's so cheap, who cares? And this is marine carpet. Marine carpet's really good because it comes with these little riffles. And as you might be able to see, there is a whole bunch of black sand loading in those riffles as it is. And that's just a piece of aluminium strip that I've angled in there like this and then screwed down so that the carpet just slips up behind it. I'm hoping that I get at least 2 runs out of that thing, because this is just a test run. I really want to see if I can get some mad good gold with it in a spot that I know about when the water goes down. I grabbed these 2 buckets from a little bit upstream because historically speaking, I've seen a lot more gold in this material than what I ever have down in this spot. Just want to see if we can see a couple bits.
That is known by gold miners as overloading the sluice box.
A lot more black sand, Jesus. Wow. Whoa. Really chunky stuff. I'm genuinely surprised how forgiving this seems to be. Normally doing this with a sluice box would be the worst idea ever, but this just keeps flowing. There's like enough water in it that no matter where you are, there's something going down. Look at the black sand. There'll be a good lot over here. Oh, look at the black sand. Loaded. The other bucket has a lot more clay in it, so we'll see how that goes. Because clay is usually just that little bit harder to work. Still a lot of black sand coming out, really coarse stuff too. This sluice box is working unreal. Real curious to see how much black sand comes out of this one. There was a lot of coarse stuff in the last lot. Let's just watch here. Oh, look how coarse that is. Super coarse black sand. There is so much room for error with this. If I dump too much on, there's another part of the sluice box that's working just fine. And even with this low amount of water, it's still clearing rocks pretty good. But it is almost dark, so now I have to try and figure out how to get this out of the creek. Because even regular sized sluice boxes are a some bitch when it comes to getting them out of the creek with all the black sand and water on them. Let us prepare to struggle. I reckon if we break the water seal I created at the start, it'll get lighter. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. It's not an awkward size at all. It's like fits right in your pocket. 3310 owners from the 90s. Now in theory, well, that was easy, wasn't it? In theory, I should just be able to drag and roll. I said, in theory, I should be able to drag and roll. Yeah, see, just like that, easy as. I'm going to be a busy boy cleaning up. We've got huge chunks of tin, but not only that, we have actual pieces of gold sitting in our ginormous mega sluice. Apparently the mega sluice's mat is quite big and my tub is not big enough, so we're going to have to do this in like halves. I need a bigger tub! I'm going to have to bang those mats out properly in a much bigger tub, but for now, we can at least see if and how much gold the mega sluice recovered all on its lonesome. This pan feels very heavy, so I'm assuming there is a fair amount of black sand. I didn't run that many shovels though, so maybe not. Just remember, this spot has been pillaged by every prospector in the known universe who knows about Reedy Creek. So whatever gold we do see in here is literally only flood gold. There was no deposit. Whereas the spot that I want to take you with this mega sluice, it's got a lot of gold. I'll get rid of the boulders. Wow, that is some dense black sand. Ooh, we have got golds. Oh yeah, yeah. Keeping in mind that we're mostly shoveling sand, and this still has a lot of gravel in it because I can't wash it properly, and there's a lot of gold still mixed in that black sand down there. I easily recovered enough gold with the mega sluice to probably pay for the screws that put the mega sluice together. Maybe even a sausage from Bunnings.